Like a house teetering on unstable foundations, the European Union is battling a series of cracks that threaten to bring the entire structure down. Instead of fortifying its base, however, the Union's leaders have chosen to douse the flames with gasoline, embracing militarization and war rhetoric as the continent's crises deepen. For months now, Europe has been gripped by a cascade of emergencies. From the soaring cost of living to a housing shortage, a struggling economy and mass migration, the pressures on the bloc have only intensified. Politically, the EU's far-right movements have gained momentum, with populist parties winning elections or propping up governments in 9 member states, most recently in Austria, where the far-right Freedom Party claimed 30% of the vote. On the international front, the EU faces its most significant challenge yet: the war in neighboring Ukraine. European leaders, in partnership with the United States, have committed themselves to escalating military aid, shipping ever more advanced weaponry to Kyiv in hopes of delivering a blow to Russia. The war shows no signs of abating, despite billions in aid and arms, leaving the continent caught in a spiral of violence and insecurity. And yet, rather than addressing the root causes of its multiple crises, most of which stem from decades of neoliberal economic policies, the EU's leadership has turned to militarization. They appear to believe that the prospect of war can unify a fractured Europe and distract its citizens from the growing sense of economic despair. Nowhere is this strategy more evident than in the European Parliament's recent push to escalate the conflict in Ukraine. On September 19th, the Parliament passed a non-binding resolution calling for EU nations supplying missiles to Ukraine to authorize their use against Russian targets on Russian soil. Outgoing EU Foreign Chief Josep Borrell has been among the loudest voices pushing for this escalation, despite warnings from Moscow and a recent update to Russia's nuclear doctrine, lowering the threshold for a nuclear response.
It's clear that Russia has been receiving new arms, in particular missiles from Iran. This is what we believe, even if Iranians deny it, but it looks like. In any case, Russian drones and missiles have been continue to approach and in sometimes entering into the European Union member states' space. This is very risky. The Russian drones and missiles are entering and approaching, and in some cases borderline entering in our airspace. Russia continues to hamper global food security. There is a long time without talking about food security, but the threat continues.
Even as military supplies continue to flow into Ukraine, European leaders are urging their citizens to brace for further military spending. Andrius Kubilius, the EU's new defense commissioner, has argued that Europe must become a war weapons storehouse in preparation for any potential conflict with Russia. What's more, liberal economists like Mario Draghi have proposed that rearmament could revitalize Europe's floundering economy, presenting war as a potential economic solution. The shift in rhetoric marks a stark departure from the EU's historical focus on peace, democracy, and social welfare. Today, leaders increasingly invoke the Latin phrase "sivi pacem, para bellum," if you want peace, prepare for war, as justification for escalating militarization.